Hello, beautiful people, and welcome into the Live Mic podcast. It's episode number 3. I am your host, Tim Quinn. As always, I got two incredible guests today. They're both from the Mercyhurst women's basketball team. It's junior Danielle Grimm and sophomore Sophia Kelly. Thank you so much for being here.
Redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman, of course. Soph Kelly redshirting in her freshman year just one season ago, but we'll get right into it. Of course, thank you so much for being here. But Danny, the team went 5-2 so far this year after dropping the first two games of the year, 5 straight wins. The last 2 of those wins came this weekend to kick off PSAC play. It's a similar start to what we saw last year, but what has been different so far about this team that maybe wasn't here last year?
I think the team dynamic on the court is a lot different. I think we have a lot of players that are like playing their role and okay with playing their role, and I think they do their role very well. There's nobody doing anything extra too much. It's very team-like. It's very togetherness, and we need 5 people out there to play together, and that's what we've been doing.
Last year, you guys wrapped with 3 consecutive losses to make you miss out on PSAC playoffs. But, you have some of those players that were there last year returning. What did you guys learn from those losses, learn from the end of last year and missing playoffs that you've taken into the start of this season?
Right. I think we learned that we have to do the work early. Relying on those last 3 games or like hoping some teams would lose so we could get in, that didn't do us any justice, and we just want to get in because we're playing well and we want to win. So we got to do the work early, and we got to beat those teams early on so we don't have to wait the last 3 games and then, play our hardest or try to get in. We should, get in on our own.
So, like you said, last year a freshman, this year academically a sophomore, but you redshirted last year. What were some of your key takeaways in a year which you didn't play in the games, but you participated in the practices, in the workouts? How do you think that helped you evolve the level of your game from where you were coming into college?
I got to learn a lot from my freshman year. It was interesting just to look at everything from an outside perspective. I basically was looking from the outside in the whole year, and it kind of gave me some more information off the court, for what PSAC is, how the teams are, how it's going to be anyone's game any day. So coming in, that's just something that I took as I have a one-up on everyone else who transferred in, who is a new player this year. So I think that helped me.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed from high school?
It's a lot faster, in high school, you go, oh, this team, they stink. Here, it's Clarion's record might be crap, but they're a team who's going to beat us any day they want to, which we saw that last year. We took that game for granted last year, and I know that's something that, even though I didn't play last year, I have a chip on my shoulder about that, so I'm definitely going to be going into Clarion this year.
Yeah, so like I said, it's your first year of actually being in that NCAA competition. Danny, you came to Mercyhurst for your first year last year as well. You spent your first year at Long Island. What felt right about making that choice to go to LIU?
To go to LIU or Mercyhurst?
To go to LIU.
I wanted to be. I like the city. I like Brooklyn, New York. I wanted to be in New York City. I thought that was a great place for me, especially going into college. It's a little different than going to your state school. I really enjoy the city. And then the coaches actually, the recruiting, that helped a lot. The coaches were from Columbus, played in my head coach played for a school in the same conference as my high school. So the coaches felt at home. They had promises of developing, and they did develop. So I think that's what made me make that choice.
You had some quality minutes there. You made 18 starts through 27 appearances. Also a part of the NEC All-Rookie team. What was it that drove you firstly into the portal and then into Mercyhurst?
So we had a lot of girls leave. We had about 15 girls transfer out.
Wow.
It was a really hard year. We had new coaches, so the old players, felt some type of way with the new coaches. The new coaches felt some type of way about the older players that they didn't recruit. And it kind of created this really bad team dynamic, and it wasn't very fun.
Yeah.
And I as I went to school there, I didn't enjoy the school as much as I thought I would. And we have 2 campuses for LIU. There's Post and Brooklyn. I was on the Brooklyn campus, and my major was actually at the Post campus.
Okay.
So that was kind of a deal breaker because I couldn't do my major in class.
Right. Yeah. Is it difficult because that was a team that struggled a lot in that year, right? You guys lost the first 14 games, 2 of them by forfeit. So how is that difficult for you that you're not really enjoying the school as much as you thought? You don't really enjoy the environment as much. And then you guys struggle to win those games. How is that for you mentally to have to go through all of that in your first year of college?
I think it's just difficult going to college in general because when you're in high school, you're probably going to be the best player. And then you go to college and all these girls are the best players in their high school. And like when your team's doing bad, it's just like you're used to winning. Like in high school, you're used to winning. And then you go and you lose and you're like, whoa. That's a lot to take in. And then when your teammates don't like each other, it just doesn't, everything piles up, and then it just doesn't help the case of winning or performing on the court.
Yeah, you played some pretty big time schools, right? I mean, it's a Division I school. You started off with Penn State in your first college game. So what is it that was maybe the biggest difference? Like you said, the star player in high school, then you go and you face Penn State University in your first college game. Was that really a big wake-up call for you?
Penn State's really good. I think, like, there's a lot of things that go into it, like teammates, recruiting, coaches. You know, sometimes teams have the talent, they just don't have the chemistry, the coaching, the recruiting. So it was a bit of a wake-up call, especially coming as a senior in high school, who I wasn't very highly recruited, so playing a team like that, all those girls are going to be big names. So it was a little difficult, yes.
Now transferring into Mercyhurst Division II school, what's the biggest difference from your first year at LIU to your first year at Mercyhurst?
I think I had more of an impact, even though I did play my freshman year. I think I had a bigger role coming in as a transfer my sophomore year. And I think the team dynamic was really different, which I enjoyed, which is why I did commit to Mercyhurst in the first place. Basketball-wise, there wasn't a huge jump. Like, there is a little bit different between, you know, certain recruiting styles and playing big teams like that. But, you know, PSAC's a good conference, so there's girls in this conference that could easily play at a Division I or have played Division I. So it really hasn't been the biggest jump, but yeah.
What was the deciding factor for you, and how quickly did the decision get made to, once you had hit the portal, to come to Mercyhurst, and what was that decision maker for you?
So I had like maybe 2 offers, and then Mercyhurst offered me when I came on campus. I was actually a pretty late commit. I don't even think they had any money for me at the moment. I was a very late commit. The deciding factor was the area. I liked the school, the academics were really good, and the team dynamic. Like, I came from a very horrible culture, program, but culture, and I really just wanted a better culture. And going on my visit, I've seen the teammates and how they interact. I just wanted to be happy, so that was my deciding factor.
Yeah, transferring, I'm sure, not very easy after struggling, you know, mentally maybe through your first season, then transferring, heading to a new school. Were there a lot of nerves coming in that, you know, August, September time? You're coming into Mercyhurst your first time after, you know, transferring, hitting 2 new schools in 2 years. Was that nerve-wracking for you at all?
For sure. It's like doing your freshman year all over again.
Right.
New people, new team dynamic, new conference. You know, you got to learn all these things over again. But the girls made me feel right at home. Very loving people, very caring people. And I went to high school with Paige Wilford, so that helped a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit closer to home than Brooklyn, so, you know, it was still uncomfortable, of course, but the people made it a lot better.
Yeah, so for you, what you went through last season, not easy mentally, right? Redshirting, I think, is one of those things that is not really discussed on the mental side of it. When I went through it my freshman year, you struggle a lot because you're not used to it, right? You go through your entire life being the star player or one of the star players on your team, and you're playing every game, you're getting the most minutes, you're getting the ball passed to you all the time. And then you go to your first year of college, and it is like a little bit of a punch in the face, isn't it? You take that red shirt, and it's just a little bit demoralizing. Is that how you felt in that year? Because it's got to be so difficult mentally.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's probably one of the hardest things I've done for myself. And well, I've said this before. If I could go back and do it again, I don't know if I would take a redshirt year again.
Yeah.
It's just like, like you're taking it for like the good of the team and the good of your own career. Because like this year I was able to like jump in and like, I'm becoming a player who I want to be this year, and I don't think I would be able to do that last year. But it sucks whenever at practice, like, you're not going to get the reps you need because, like the players who are playing want to get those reps. Like you're on the scout team, like coach isn't even like talking to you. Like sometimes I feel like I didn't talk to coach for like 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's got to be difficult. It's something that, in my experience with redshirting my freshman year, it is like a little bit of like you get the cold shoulder almost, right, where you're just not the A-list important player that everybody has to pay attention to. And when you are redshirting, you're doing it, like you said, for the betterment of yourself and for the team, so that way you're available to the team for that 5th year, for that extra year, right? So you think you should be the one having that extra time with coach, having that extra time and reps in practice, but I think it's one of those really difficult things that just kind of go overlooked is the mental side of redshirting. But like you said, you wouldn't do it a second time, but do you think it has been a positive on your basketball game, taking that red shirt, taking that year to develop, and now coming into this year?
I do think it has been a positive. It's just getting through was really difficult. Like I wasn't allowed to travel, and I think most red shirts are, but I wasn't allowed to travel. So like I'm here like watching my teammates. It was my freshman year. I didn't make many friends off the team yet, so I'm in my dorm room alone, like watching the games, like just wishing I was there. But at the end of the day, like I did it and I got through it, and it's something that I am happy with now. But in the moment of redshirting, it's not fun at all.
Yeah, definitely very difficult. Danny, you mentioned that the team culture is good, right? Like you guys are all super close, a very close-knit group, and that comes a lot of times playing in the games and being on the court. But so for you, is that something that you felt like you didn't experience as much last year but really have this year? Has that kind of taken a step up this year?
I think so. I'm able to kind of like use my voice more this year, as last year. I mean, the freshmen in general, and then a redshirt freshman on top of that. Like, no one's really. I felt like no one was kind of like paying attention to what you have to say because you're a freshman, you've never played before, and you're not gonna play.
Yeah.
But even with that, I think that whenever I was at games, whenever I was able to travel or at home games, I feel like I brought a lot of energy last year. And I think that translates really well this year for me. So even like when I'm not in the game, I'm someone who gets the team rallied on the bench, and I think that that's kind of an important thing that I learned last year from the bench.
Danny, for you, coming into Mercyhurst, it's a different head coach, and that's something that as well will go overlooked, is the difficulties of learning a new system under a new head coach, and doing that multiple times in a couple of years is difficult. Did you struggle with it at all at Long Island going into your freshman year and immediately playing? Was it difficult to kind of learn a new system than you were using in high school and really for the majority of your playing career?
Right. I actually think that a lot of coaches, when they recruit systems and girls that do have what their program matches.
Right.
That's a big thing, because then you have girls that come in and don't really know the system or haven't run it before, and that can be troublesome because the girl can be really talented but might not get the playing time. So I think from my experiences from both Coach K and my old coaches at LIU is that they did recruit me based on the player I was and the system I came from. So I never really had any trouble going in. Of course, you gotta learn new things, learn new slang, like what they use for plays and actions. But going in, they were pretty confident in me and trusted me a lot because they wanted me to like fit into their program.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Coach Brooklyn Kohlheim, her 5th season here at Mercyhurst, has been here for both of you guys' runs so far. Spent nearly 15 years in coaching and playing college ball before that. What does she bring to the table that is different than any coaches that you guys have seen before?
I think that she puts a huge emphasis on, like, we are one team.
Yeah.
And that's her one emphasis. Her other emphasis is the process and not the result. So like last year we didn't get the results we wanted, but this year especially she's putting a huge emphasis on the process and us as a team.
Yeah.
And my coaches in the past, they have always looked at other teams first and then tried to work on within, but we look at ourselves first, and we don't even use other teams' names whenever we're talking about them. We
Wow.
literally call them them. We don't say East Stroudsburg or Kutztown or whoever, or like it's just, I think that's really important because we don't want to have to conform to them when we play them. Like, we want them to play our game.
Right.
From Coach K, I really enjoy. She's very much a leader for us, just as women outside of the sport of basketball. And just as a leader and a coach, she's very inspiring to look up to. You know, she always has quotes before practice, and she firmly believes in that. She has a lot of integrity, and I think it's cool to like look up to her just as a person, because I think that's important, to trust your coach as a person and, you know, like them as a person. And then as a coach, I think she's always correcting herself. She's always trying to find what went wrong and what we can do to fix it, and she's always on it. It's so quick. It's like, okay, this is what happened. Let's fix it. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I really enjoy that because there's no pity party. It's like, let's fix the problem and let's go at it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think like each year our play, our record has been getting better throughout her 5 years here, and I think that's a true reflection of who she is. She's always trying to get better, and I think that's important, that she's a good person first, and then she's a better coach after.
Yeah. What are some of the practices that she's put together that you felt have helped you the most? I know you guys do, team practices, but you also do a lot of individual workouts as well. So what are those things that she has put together for you that you have felt developed you best as a player?
Team practices for that. So if we have a game and we didn't do very well in an aspect of a game, then we really rep those things that we didn't do well. So like I said, she's more like, what's the problem? Let's fix it. So when something goes wrong or something's not right, we do rep that in practice, and I think that betters us as a team and as players. I really do enjoy the individual workouts because we get up a lot of shots and we get active, get moving. But I think our team practices, she puts together a really good team practice.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, the most important thing for me this year was learning how everyone else plays. So just getting reps in with, we get up and down a lot. So just getting reps with different players. She always is mixing up the teams. So getting to play with everyone. Even still, I'm still learning how my teammates play, and I think that's the most important part for me.
Yeah, I think that's something that's difficult, and it's more unique to a couple of sports. Like for me personally, it's baseball, right? So it's an individualistic team sport. You go up there and you go to bat, and it's you versus the pitcher, and then you're in the field, and there's teamwork for sure with that. You have to make plays with other guys on the field, but everybody's been doing it in the same style for our entire lives, right? It's pick up the ball, throw it to first, it's catch the fly ball, it's do some of those things that everybody does. But for basketball, seemingly every player has their own unique style of play. Is that something that you guys found difficult to come into a team in the college level when everybody kind of has their own way of doing things, has their own maybe ego behind it as well, where they've been doing it their way all of their life and it's worked for them to this point? Is it difficult at all to kind of learn those new playing styles and mesh with them?
I think I've picked up pretty easily, pretty fast. I did have that year to watch it first, and now I can jump in. But kind of like what Danny said earlier, right, Coach does a really good job recruiting her players for the system she wants.
Yeah.
So like, we like to play fast. Most of the girls like to play fast, and within that fast style of play, everyone has their own little unique like add-ins to that. So I think just picking up on our little cues that we have is something important for us. But I don't think it's too difficult for us to really mesh into that, because she did such a good job recruiting who she wants for the system.
Right.
I totally agree with that. She recruits girls with a certain style, and it reflects in practice when we play together. It wasn't super difficult to get to know each player's styles because we kind of have similar ones. But at the same time, people do have their own game. You know, some people are really good at shooting threes, some people are really good at, you know, jumpers, some people are just good at, you know, down low. And I actually think that's a really cool part of basketball in general, is just seeing how people can like uniquely move or like have their own special move. Like some people, like for example, like Soph can have like a little crossover jumper and like nobody else on the team can like really pull that off. But it's like we know you have that and you're good at that, and it's cool just to see like, you know, when Ava has her little left hook, it's like nobody can guard it for some reason.
When Danielle gets the ball, no one can stop her anytime she has the ball anywhere.
That's not what I was
She might hit a spin move, go for a layup, finish.
Got him.
Got him. She has a really good behind the back jumper.
Yeah.
Top of the key, you know.
All I'm trying to say is like there's a lot of girls on our team that have like little things that they can do so very well, and it's just so cool.
Yeah, so to go along with your ability on the court, Danny, you second on the team in points scored this year, right behind Bailey Coons, who has taken a giant step up from her freshman year. In these first 7 games, she looked incredible on the court. What is something that you've seen her game evolve from last year to this year that has impressed you the most?
I think, honestly, I think she just got overall really just better. Everything, she kind of just elevated her game. You know, the hard work she's done has really paid off. I think, like, in the post down low, she's gotten better at finishing. She's been stronger. Her IQ's gotten better. I think it's just, like, the little things of every part of her game have, the little parts of her game have elevated.
Yeah. I know she's from Pittsburgh and we played on the same AAU team in high school, and I know like she just went to work with our AAU coach, just like workouts all the time with him, and I think that, you know, without we had Grace and Chula transfer out,
right.
And I think that kind of opened up a window for her, and I feel like she kind of had to step into that. She didn't really have a choice, so I think she stepped into it really well too, for sure.
Yeah, you guys just had a couple of players that exited last year. Grace Central, one of them, Jade Boyd, another one, those two getting a lot of playing time last year. Is it difficult as a team to kind of fill those gaps in the lineup, or is it something where it's that next man up mentality and everybody's here for a reason, right? Everybody that plays has their own special talents on the court. So is it one of those things that, you know, you lose them, but it's the next man up?
I don't think it's difficult to replace people. You know, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here, and they transferred out for their own reasons and teach their own. But I think that we have girls who are ready. We have girls who have invested their time into this program, and that's what we're mostly focused on.
Right. I think there is a little missing part of like unique parts of their game that were pretty cool to see, and that added to our team for sure. But I do think, like Soph said, that we have a lot of girls that are invested in the program, are invested in Coach K, trust Coach K, trust the system, trust the process, and they want to get in there and step up and do their thing. So I think when you have girls like that on your team, you know, you might lose one, but you might gain one too.
Yeah, so over this last off season, I'm curious, what's the training style like? Are you trying to get stronger, faster, a little bit more IQ? You working on shooting? What's the biggest thing that you take into your off season to train for into the coming season?
Me personally, I need to get a lot stronger. Coming off my redshirt year, I've never played in the PSAC, so something that I had to focus on was building my strength. And I think one of the first things that all the coaches said to me when I started playing this year was that I just looked tougher. So that's something that I was happy with, that they noticed that I put that hard work in. So that's something I really take pride in, is the strength that I've built over off season.
Right. I think it depends on what you lacked in the last season or what you need to get better at. Overall, I think honestly getting stronger, faster, and just putting up reps for things you need to work on or what you're good at too, and perfecting that. I think that's a lot of what people do in the off season. Personally, just everything you can get done, weight room, speed, agility, and then just getting up reps, shots, all of it.
Yeah. I'm also curious about the in-season training, whether it's for the team, outside of the team. on your own in the weight room or just on the court, because it's something that I know it's difficult to do, right, in season training, because you're already sore from practices, you're already sore from the games, your body's already physically worn out and tired. So it's difficult to really motivate yourself to get that outside work in. But what does that look like for you guys?
I think so. We have care hours, NCAA, and we don't really ever go over our hours per week. So that means there's room for individuals with coaches. So that's kind of like what the in-season training looks like for some people, is just doing indies on Tuesday or Thursday with the coaches or with one of the coaches. And then other people just getting in the gym later at night, earlier in the morning, and then hitting the weights, on your own. So if a lot of in-season training comes, I think, like within yourself and how much work you want to put in, and if you think it will benefit on top of all the stuff we do. So a lot of people just need that rest, need that time away to perform at their best. Other people may feel more confident if they go in and get more shots and more reps and kind of work on their game. They may feel more confident in their abilities to play.
Yeah.
I totally agree. We kind of have it's like a split. Some people, they like that rest, they need that rest, and that's how they perform at their best. And then other people, like, some of us are gym rats, like you walk in the gym at like 10:30 at night, it's like, oh, you're here right now too. Like, I see you here every night. But I think for me, the most I do outside of practice with our team is just shooting. Like whenever I go in the gym, I just like to shoot. I shoot anywhere from 600 to 800 shots at a time. So.
Yeah. So what's the biggest thing that you guys find difficult to keep up with in season, because you're already so busy with a lot of different things, and especially being a student first, it's classes that take up a lot of that time, but it's also the workouts and the practices, and a lot of it also is going to be keeping your body healthy through all of it and keeping your mind healthy. How is it that you guys are able to hold on to your body and maintain your healthiness in your own body throughout the season?
Lately, me and Danielle have been athletes first. So we're kind of lacking in the classroom right now.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
But no, we have good grades, but we are students first, so that's something that this year I didn't have to deal with that. Last year we're like playing games, and traveling was something that took me away from class, so that's something I've had to adjust to and make sure I'm keeping up with. But I know I like the ice bath a lot. That helps me out.
Yeah. You put me on that stuff. Really
yeah,
good.
I did. I put her on.
Yeah, that is a very popular one through a lot of the athletes in the training room.
The only one we have now.
Yeah, I actually have requested that our ATs get a second ice bath that's only for female athletes, because the men who use our ice bath is they're just gross. They're just gross. Like I'll look in there and I'm like, no. Sometimes I can't ice bath because the men who use it are too gross.
Really? You really feel that way?
I do feel that way.
Get it out there. Yeah, let the people know.
This is the moment. This is the time.
You need to stay out of the ice bath. They're getting it dirty.
I don't think I've ever seen Tim in the ice bath.
I don't think I've ever seen Tim anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
In the gym, I've never seen
him
him
in the gym. Never seen me in the gym.
Tim, why are you not in the gym?
Never.
Come on.
Never been, actually. What is the biggest piece of equipment that has helped you guys here, whether it's the ice bath or some machine on the court that has really helped you guys and that you might have not had through high school?
My favorite man-made machine that helps me is the shooting gun. I absolutely love the gun. I know ours in high school was broke. It just sat in the corner all 4 years I was there. But it's just the quickest way to get shots up, and you can modify it however you want. So I'm a shooter, so
She's a shooter.
I like to get shots up, so the gun is my favorite.
Yeah.
I think it's really, I like the gun too. Honestly, I know this information, but some PSAC schools don't have a shooting gun, and that surprises me because this is like college basketball. Like,
right.
How do you not have a shooting gun? And that really put it into perspective for me, because I'm like, we have 2 of those and they work all the time.
Yeah.
And we have access to them all the time. I also think it's really cool we have access to the gym 24/7. I know the passcode to turn on the lights. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I basically
I
live
can
there.
adjust the air conditioning if I really want to.
Right. And if I really want to, I could go to the rec center whenever I wanted to. And I think that's really, really cool that they trust us with that access.
Yeah, I think that was actually the first time I ever talked to Coach. I asked her, I was like, "Can I get in the gym whenever I want?" Because I know like some of the schools that were recruiting me, like that was something like they didn't offer. It was like access to the gym, like whether it was like just because of the location of the school or whatnot. But I think that we are very fortunate here with what we have and how much money we have here. And I think I know we have a little nickname from the other schools in the PSEC. It's like the rich kids on top of the hill or something like that. Have you ever heard of that?
I've not.
Really? Maybe it's just something Coach says to us. I don't know, but she always says that. But yeah, so we are very fortunate here.
Yeah.
Very grateful, yes.
So, what is the biggest event that you guys have had the most fun at, not only in sports but outside of it? Because you say that the team culture and the team chemistry is such a huge part of it, and outside looking in, you guys do seem like a really, really close group, and you do a lot of events and things outside of the sport, whether it's before the season or during the season. Which one of those events has been the most special for you?
I think that we love celebrating our teammates' birthdays. I think that birthdays are something that we always get together for, you know, whether it's just like a dinner, if it's getting together on the weekend and just hanging out. That's something that we put a huge emphasis on. And being here over winter, we get to celebrate Christmas together, we get to celebrate New Year's together. And so those are some holidays that we really enjoy.
I agree, totally. I also think, sorry.
No.
I also think that the coaches do a really good job of like putting together, we have like PGWs or we have like team bonding and we'll have dinners, they'll supply dinner for us, or we'll go somewhere, we go to Niagara Falls. Like, I think that those moments as a team we really enjoy, and we actually do team bond, even though it might be like, oh, the coaches want us to do team bonding and we're like forced to be there. We're forced to be there. I do still think it helps a lot, and we do like look forward to those events because they're kind of like structured and we don't have to put as much effort into it or do all the stuff to like hang out.
Yeah, I agree. Outside of our basketball culture, my favorite thing here with my teammates is Hurst Day. I love Hurst Day. I wish we could have like 17 a year.
Yeah, Hurst Day is so much fun.
Yeah.
Every single fall you get it, it's the best. One of the things I didn't ask you earlier, Soph, was what drew you into Mercyhurst? Because bringing up Hurst Day reminded me of it because I was on all of the flyers that they would hand out and all of the visits they'd talk about Hurst Day and how much fun that was for all the students. And you don't really experience it, and you don't really know what it is until you get on campus and feel it. But what were some of the things that drew you into here?
So I actually started my recruiting process very late. I actually wanted to play soccer in college up until COVID. COVID knocked my recruiting off. Started playing AAU. I played AAU for 1 year, my junior year, and that was it. So something that helped me get recruited was Bailey Kuntz played on my AAU team in high school, and Coach was recruiting Bailey, so she also started recruiting me. So that was something, and honestly the first thing I said was, what is Mercyhurst? Like, where is that? Like, is it in the middle of nowhere? I've never heard of it.
Right.
But I talked to Coach, I came up for a visit. I really liked it. The program, the cybersecurity program here is like one of the top in the country, and that's my major. So that was something that persuaded me, even if I wasn't gonna play basketball here. Just looking into that, it was something that I was interested in, and then me and Coach kind of fell out of touch, and then she reached out again, and I was like, oh, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I'll come here. So I don't know.
That's how it all happened.
That was like a whole backstory. Sorry, I feel
No,
like
it was
really.
good.
That was great.
That was great. So you mentioned COVID in that and how it kind of affected you in your recruiting process. Danny, for you, what was your experience like playing and trying to work through recruitment and everything through COVID?
I think it was really difficult because a lot of the AU tournaments.
Wait, were you in college, right?
No, so that's why I don't have a COVID year.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So-
you're the first class without one.
Right.
Okay.
So I did also have a lot of COVID. I think it was troublesome because a lot of coaches weren't looking for high school talent, because now when there's 2,000 girls in the portal, they're going to look for the fifth year that averaged 19 points a game and wants to transfer to the school, because, you know, coaches are getting kicked out, getting hired, fired, all of that. They need somebody that's going to impact the program right away. So it was hard to get schools to like look at me if they weren't looking for high school talent. It was also difficult because AU tournaments had been canceled. You know, you just didn't really have a lot of time. And if you peaked late, it was really difficult, because if you didn't really have a name for yourself earlier in high school, it was very difficult. But I think I found a way. My AU coach had a lot of connections, so kind of worked out for me, even though I did end up transferring. But I think it did kind of work out for me in a better way than some other athletes.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those things that's just, it's scary, right? COVID was a scary time for everybody, but for me, it was my junior year of high school, and so it's right on that edge of like, hey, I have to figure out what my next step is, and it's kind of getting to that point. But by the time it was senior year for me, a lot of it had kind of cleared out a little bit more, and those tournaments were coming back, and it was a lot easier for coaches to get in touch with people. And so for you, you're sophomore in high school, so you had a little bit of more time as well. But you know, for you, Danny, it was right on the cusp of college, right? It's one of those things that's like, it's that next year you're going. So the end of your high school kind of got cut off, and then going into there, it's got to be really scary for you. But you guys have both mentioned your AAU teams, so I'm curious, was there a lot of traveling for those AAU teams, and if so, where were the kind of the favorite places that you guys went to and played?
My AAU team was part of the Under Armour circuit, so it's sponsored by Under Armour. You know, you get to go to these big tournaments. A lot of the college coaches know about these tournaments. I went to Alabama, was our first one, and that's like, it was just surreal, honestly, playing there, because it's like, I mean, you had Gino, UConn's coach, you know, sitting courtside at your game. I've never played AAU before, so I'm like, Gino's watching me play basketball right now, you know, and I'm like, and then like Don Staley is there, you know, Baylor's coach is there, Kim Mulkey was there, like all these big time coaches are there, because it's right after, it's springtime, so it's right after their seasons are done, and like, my favorite part was literally seeing what coaches were going to be at the games. Like, it's just like insane, and you're playing these girls who, you know, they're committed to these schools. Like, I've played some of the Notre Dame girls. I've played against the South Carolina girls. Like, it's just like, I don't know, now I get to watch them in their tournament, and it's just, that was my favorite part about being in that circuit, was like getting to play like the big time name girls and seeing the big time coaches there.
Yeah.
Right. I think we went to Georgia one year, and it was really cool because we were in Atlanta, and I was like, Atlanta's really cool. Like, this could be like a cool place for like young adulthood after college. Like, the thing about AAU is you travel to these cities, and it's really cool because you kind of get a taste of everything. Like, I think AAU is important because you got a lot of different girls from different parts of the U.S., and you get to bond with them, and like you said, then you get to go see them go off and play, and you're like, holy crap, like, yeah. I used to play with her, or I played against her, and it's like kind of cool. It's like, it's kind of like we're all part of, like, it's really big, basketball's really big, but it's also like, it can be smaller when you know this person and they know that person. I think it's really cool.
It's such like basketball is like such a culture, like, right. You know, like, once you all get to college, it's like, you're reposting each other's stuff on social media, you're following each other on social media, you're like, hey, like, you're texting people who, like, you might not have been that close with on your AU team, but, like, you are all supporting each other, and I just love the culture, because I don't know how many other sports are, like, that close like that.
I think people take for granted how big, like, a part of their lives it has been. Like, a lot of my friends, or a lot of the people I've met have been through AAU or through basketball. Whether that's embarrassing for some people, I don't know. But I think it's really, really cool. And then you got different, like, we have different races, this and that. There's diversity. It's just really cool, you know? You get to experience a lot of it, and it's honestly a blessing.
Yeah, AAU and traveling around, especially when you're younger, just gives you that big time feel, I think, and it gives it more than, in my opinion, high school basketball, or for me, high school baseball really does, because you're playing schools that are local to you, and you know the people, from school to school, but you get on that AAU level, it makes you feel like a professional, right? You're traveling to these different states. For me, Georgia, Florida, the Carolinas, Texas. It's one of those things that's just like a really, really cool experience, and you can build those really great relationships as well. But if you guys are ready, I think we're gonna go. I know you guys are avid listeners to the Live Mic Pod, and the segment coming up is the hot seat.
Oh,
okay.
My favorite.
Yeah, just a couple of quick fire questions if you like. So for both of you,
Wait,
go ahead.
we have to answer these really fast, or like what happens?
Just answer them as honestly and as quickly as you can.
I'm
Okay.
scared.
All right,
Oh, I'm ready.
no gotcha questions, really. Who's the best player you ever played with?
Oh crap, that's really.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like on my team, like on.
Through your
high
career.
school.
And a lot of that for me, like for AAU, like, pitchers, right? Pitchers I can name where every time I watch this guy go out there, dominating performance, right? This guy was just a special player. Is there anybody that quickly pops in your mind that is like, whoa, she was
Question,
really good?
Does this include like top 60 camps where we had like random girls
It could,
that you
yeah.
never played?
It could.
I played with oh my god, I don't know her name.
No, you probably shouldn't say her then.
Okay, okay, fine. Well, I don't want to say no.
You're not gonna say Sophia Kelly?
Yeah, Sophia.
Here.
Like Alug is the best player I've ever played with.
I think one of the best people I've ever played with, would be Aislinn Malcolm. She goes to Pitt right now. She plays there. She was on my AU team, and we weren't very close, but it's just like she hits like a game-winning three-pointer, and this was our first game I ever played with her. She hits a game-winning three-pointer, and she has no reaction.
Yeah.
She's just like stone cold, no reaction, like, cause she just like that's normal for her. That's like just a day at work for her. But it's just she's amazing to watch. So I follow her a lot. I bet.
Okay, I have it. Grace Van Sloot. She goes to Oregon. So she actually played against Grace in high school because she went to Spire Academy or something like that.
Ew.
I played with her. I know. I played with her in a top 60 camp, and she literally dunked the ball. And I was like a freshman, and I'm like what 5'2" at this moment, like 90 pounds.
Dunk the ball.
Yes.
Did she dunk it on you?
No, I was on her team, and I was just like, this should be illegal. I don't even know I'm on the court with her. Like, what the heck?
Oh my gosh.
It was just like one of the moments where you're like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. What's your favorite jersey that you've ever worn in a game?
Favorite jersey?
Yeah. Like favorite design jersey, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Mercyhurst.
I'm not gonna lie. LAU's colors were really cool. They had like this light blue, yellow thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So our yellow jerseys were pretty dope.
I liked my light blue AU jersey. We were blue, gray, and black. So we had blue with like black and gray accents on it. It was like baby blue.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Blue's my favorite color.
Yeah.
So.
Blue pops up actually. I asked that question to people. It's like a baby blue that pops up nearly every single time.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that question. It's baby blues for me too. Baby blues when I was younger were really, really good. I also wore pinstripes in high school for baseball, which is like, yeah.
Pinstripes have stripes? Like referee colors?
Pinstripes. Pinstripes, yeah.
What?
Pinstripes in high school I wore, which
Student first.
yeah.
Oh my
student
gosh,
first.
like the baseball jersey.
like the baseball,
and it
like
could
the New
be
York
anything.
Yankees.
Right.
Yeah,
Like Babe Ruth.
there it is. Yeah, no, I wore those in high school, which are just like they were just special. You know, I mean, you put those on, and you're like, oh, this feels really, really cool. I wore number 2, so I felt like Derek Jeter out there, even though I'm nothing.
You look like Derek Jeter.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
I don't
I hear that a lot.
I don't really find Derek Jeter that attractive, so
Oh.
it's kind of a.
But
Just kidding.
But going to the LIU one, so for me, when I called I play for the Mercyhurst men's ice hockey team against Long Island. I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago. I hated their jerseys. I'm not gonna lie.
I can
The
find
blue,
them being really ugly.
the blue's nice, the yellow's nice, but the way they had it, and I don't know.
Were
It was
there,
not good.
Were their shorts yellow?
Yeah, so the yellow
Yeah.
shorts, but the thing is for them, they like hockey have their last name on their jerseys, right? And usually it's the letter, or it's the number, and then the last name on top of it. They had the number, last name underneath it with a gold highlight in white lettering on the blue jersey.
That has it look really gross.
It wasn't good.
You know what? I think it's probably pretty dumb.
What are your guys' pregame rituals?
Pre-game ritual. I like. Okay.
Good one.
Sorry.
I love that pregame ritual.
It's a great one.
Sorry.
I'm
usually first out of the locker room. You know, I get there early, or if it's away, like I'm wearing my game stuff already underneath like our travel stuff. First I'm out of the locker room. I start on the right block, work my way back to the 3-point line. Go to left block, work my way back to the 3-point line. One step back after each make, then go to the middle, and then I sit on the bench and I read scout until I want to go stretch. I stretch at 60 minutes, stretch for 15 minutes, and then go into the locker room. After we come out of the locker room, we do our stuff, and then I usually I step off the court and I do my own prayer, and then that's when I really get like locked in after that, and then I go back out and into warm-ups. So that's my ritual. That's what I do, and I leave my jersey on the bench. I hang it over my chair, and then before the national anthem, I take my warm-up off, put my jersey on, put my warm-up back on. So that's mine. Yeah.
That was great.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I am very superstitious about games. Like it's this, like it's.
Yeah, no, I mean it's different for basketball. I feel like because it's such like, as much as it's a physical game, it's also the mental side of shooting and like getting your eyes right, getting the motions down and everything. So I'm always interested to hear for every sport people's pregame rituals, because for basketball it's one of those things that you want to get on the court and you just want to feel out the shots, feel out from each area of the court. But for baseball, it's one of those things that everybody will do something different, because you don't have that that team warm up. You do with infield, outfield before a game and some BP and everything, batting practice. But a lot of that is done by yourself, and you get to kind of do your own thing, which I have found to be really, really helpful, because growing up, you do what works for you. You go into a game and you fire yourself up in your own specific way, and so that's what I have found has been really nice for me personally.
What about your ritual?
Well, I love to sleep. I need a nap before the game usually. I'm always tired for some reason. But usually I don't really, we play music in the locker room. I don't really like to partake in that, because I need to listen to not special music, but I need to listen to low-key rock and roll. I need something that's going to fire me up, and I don't want to take
Right.
over the speaker and my teammates not like the music. So usually I have my AirPods in, and I'm listening to my own songs. I got 5 songs. I'm like, yeah, this shit gets me fired up.
I don't even think I'm in the locker room before the game, before one song finishes on the speaker.
Yeah, I just can't.
Just get out of there.
Right. I think it's just I don't know, I just need my own music, and then usually I like to do stretching, and then when we do our team warm-up, we do our team warm-up. And
I
then,
feel like you're pretty simplistic about your ritual.
Right.
You just want to be in your own zone first.
Right, I just need to be by myself a little bit. I can't have people, I don't really interact, especially when we're on the court. We get 15 minutes of our own thing. And I still have my headphones on.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of us do that.
Well,
I bring my beats out.
Yeah, a couple people, but
Sometimes my sensory, I need to
right.
listen to my surroundings to get a feel.
Right, I get that. I just can't, I'm just don't talk to me. Not in a mean way, but just
She's pretty mean about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Get the fuck away from me. No, I'm just more I need to be in the zone and just think about what's about to happen.
Right. What's your song? What's your songs right now? What's the one song, so you have 4 minutes, right, where you're all right, this is it. Last song goes on.
Right.
I'm getting ready.
Oh, Tim.
Fire me up.
Tim actually listens to the music that you listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there's this one remix by Journey, Separate Ways, and it's a remix, and it's really fucking good, and
Yeah.
that shit is fire. And then Kickstart My Heart by the Motley Crue.
Mm.
Oh, and some AC/DC, Back in Black.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm ready to go.
Oh my gosh, I actually listen to my game mix playlist all day game day. Like it's like it's rap. Starting from 8 a.m. when I get up for class, it's rap. Like or like when we get up for shoot down, like I'm listening to my game mix all day.
Right.
That's me. I have to listen to fast paced rap. Like I can't listen to slow stuff.
See how it's like different
Yeah,
for everyone.
it's so weird.
Like everyone needs their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is always different. When it Kickstart My Heart, great shout.
Right.
Motley Crue saw them in concert the other year. Amazing.
Did you actually?
Yeah, in Pittsburgh at PNC.
Were they?
So cool.
At PNC.
Jealous.
Kickstart My Heart.
Wait,
was amazing.
okay, wait.
Were you
I was in the stands.
Have you seen The Dirt?
Yes.
Okay, that's not even a question.
So good.
I tell people about that movie and they're like, "When I watch that?" I'm like, it's actually
I've never
really
seen
good.
it.
So good.
You're like,
Worth the watch. Genuinely a great
no,
movie.
it's not even like you have to like the Motley Crue. It's just like
You'll
an
actually-
insane movie.
Yeah, you'll actually like them after watching it too.
Right,
So
you'll be
you'll have a little bit more of appreciation for it.
Yeah.
I don't know who the Motley Crue is.
Oh, like rock and roll, old rock, probably like a little bit of heavy metal over there. Yeah, no, literally, Kickstart My Heart. It's like a lot of like.
I don't know if I can get behind like headbanging, screaming.
Oh, it's the best.
I can't.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a. I just like some like.
You like lyrics. You like.
Yeah, I'm very
You're
lyrical.
a lyric girl.
Yeah. But
I like noises. I like
yeah.
sounds.
I'm like if the beat's not good though, with the lyrics, like I listen to the beat first and then if the lyrics follow, it's just like mwah. But I don't know. That's why I like Juice WRLD. He's always speaking something.
I don't know how I feel about Juice WRLD.
Oh, he's dead, so you don't have to feel any type of way.
True.
For my freshman last year, I guess my freshman year, orientation thing on our bus, right, coming home from West Virginia, everybody's got to sing a song as a freshman and run up and down the aisle and perform it.
So actually, this might go against Title IX. What is it called? Hazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's hazing.
No, it's fun. That was a good
Oh,
time.
that's
I know Tim enjoyed that.
It was a good
He
time.
definitely did.
He
He's such a
definitely-
performer. He's such like a. He just.
You
That you probably ate that up.
You
What
had
did you
his
What did you
voice.
have to sing and run
Yeah,
up and
what
down
did you
to?
do?
Live Wire, Motley Crue.
Ha.
Headbanging, going crazy,
Did you get
whole
to pick
team
that?
fired up. Yeah, everybody gets to pick their own
Oh.
song. You pick a song that you're comfortable with, know all the words to.
So it's not hazing.
It's not. You know, the funny thing about that was I actually performed some Lady Gaga, and then nobody reacted because one of the older guys, Mike Farrell, had told everybody to not react and make it seem as awkward as possible.
That's
And so
crazy.
I was like,
He would do that too.
and so I was like, okay, all right, sounds like I'm
Wait,
not
what
doing
song
this
was it,
anymore.
though?
It
It
was,
was Born This Way,
I
wasn't
think it
it?
was, no, I think it was Poker Face. I think it was Poker
Oh,
Face I tried to
gosh.
do.
That's a great song.
Great song, but you know, and then so I was like, all right, let me just restart this to everything somebody's gonna get crazy to, and then you know I was like, oh my god, Live Wire, here we
Right.
go. So that went as soon as the guitar hit, it was
It was
sweet.
over.
It was over.
Lights
It
out.
was over. Yeah, lights
I
out
would've
from there.
Maybe cried. Imagine everyone being like, I would have cried.
It was, yeah,
Especially
it's
as a freshman, I would have been like,
Oh.
I'm done.
difficult
I've seen
for 2 minutes before everybody was like, hey, we were just messing around.
I've
So I was
seen
like,
it.
I've seen a dancing and singing performance from one of your teammates before.
yeah.
Do you
yes,
know what
you
I'm
have.
talking about?
Yep.
Cut the
Yeah.
camera.
So who's a basketball role model for you? Don't knock the boot over.
Sorry.
I like it.
Are we talking about men's, women's? Like, what are we talking about here?
A
Who-
basketball role model.
Yeah, when you were a kid, when you were watching basketball, it's just like, oh my god, favorite player, gotta have the jersey, gotta watch their games.
So I originally was Kyrie for me.
Oh, yeah.
But
Not anymore.
not anymore. Our coach doesn't really like Kyrie. She says he's a narcissist when he plays and no one wins when he's on their team.
Mm.
But I never liked him for his like winning record. I just liked him for his style of play. Like I have an appreciation for the shiftiness and the craft. And you can just tell like the way he spins the ball off the backboard, like it's so methodical, but he makes it look so easy. But I don't know. He's been my favorite player. Yeah, I recently have not recently. From my junior year on, I've grown an appreciation for Kobe.
Right.
And I've listened to his Apple podcasts and like.
He has a podcast.
Yeah, it's actually like that used to be one of my rituals in high school. Was I
Yeah.
would listen to his podcast before I play. And it's just like insane, like some of the stuff he would do, like he used to tell his teammates like that the other team was shit talking their whole team and like
Mm.
saying all this shit and he'd get his whole team fired up by making up lies.
Right.
And like
That's like psychotic, but that's really smart.
but it's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
We should do that.
Or I think Jordan did that too.
Yeah, that Covia is a popular answer not only with basketball but with all sports
Yeah.
because of his mentality, right? It's that craziness of being like, I don't care who they are, they're the enemy tonight. Like I'm going out there. Like Tom Brady had that same kind of mentality. He talked about it. I watched the documentary he had. He talked about how he would just be like, take any little bit of disrespect and
just like
turn
blow it
it
up
up.
times 1,000.
Yeah.
Like and it's insane.
make it personal because that's how you really, shine in those moments.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
I low-key really liked Russell Westbrook.
I love that OKC team growing up.
He had
Like,
some cool things to him. I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
And then Breanna Stewart from UConn. I was a big UConn fan, bandwagon, of course. But growing up, they were like the team. They won like 4 national championships, and Breanna Stewart she was that girl.
She was that bitch.
Now she plays for Seattle. No, she plays for New York Liberty now. But
I like the Liberty. I don't watch the
she's still killing it in the WNBA, and I think I just look up to her because in childhood seeing her play like that was really cool.
Yeah. How do you guys stay motivated during a long season that maybe things aren't going well for you personally? Because basketball is a sport just like baseball and hitting, right? You can enter a slump really, really fast and you get all domed up, right? And you're in your head about every little movement, every little shot, everything you do. It's just like baseball in that aspect. So what do you do not only to stay motivated to keep everything up, but then to climb out of those slumps?
For me, I can get in my own head a lot where, I take the sport way too seriously and way too I sometimes let basketball control my life. So if I'm not good on the court, it will affect me in every other aspect. So, for me, sometimes it's literally taking a step back, and like for a day or a few, not getting in the gym extra, taking a step back from basketball, so I can go back into it. And then honestly, it's really weird. Sometimes I have to do the complete opposite. I just have to get shots up, and I just put my headphones on, and like on the court, just bouncing a ball, like with no like real intent or purpose, just like being there. So I guess either way, either more of it or less of it is what I need.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I think it depends. Like sometimes when you get really emotional, like it's like crazy to think like, oh, basketball is like a really big part of my life right now.
Yeah.
Like right now. And it does, like, this is why I'm here. Like I'm at Mercyhurst. I am a student, but like I would have never gone to Mercyhurst unless they had a basketball program or they wanted me on their team. So it does get emotional and frustrating when things don't go your way. And I think that's when you do have to step back and look at like the bigger picture of just like life in general, and then just learn to be grateful and like of what we do have. I think like just grounding yourself and like pulling back those emotions that you should just be grateful you're in the position. And then other times when it's like more of like a basketball slump, like shooting slump, I think it's just like constant reminding yourself that you did put in the work and that you do deserve this, because you're doubting your abilities. But I just, proof is in the progress.
No, literally.
Like you just look back and you're like, well, I did all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I went through all of that, and then I just have like key memories where times were really hard, like working out, and I'm like, but I did that, and I did that for a reason. And then it just kind of gives your confidence back. It's like, I went through that shit.
Yeah. And I'm in a pretty bad slump. I always hop on a call with, we have a team sports psychologist, Allison Garrell. She's a professional basketball player. She's been playing basketball her life. And she just like, she always has like the right answer.
She
I swear.
She knows exactly, like, she's crazy.
Yeah, no. But she's someone who helps me with my slumps, and she's helped me it's early in the season, but kind of like, get comfortable in like what my role could be and what my role is in this team this year. So
She's also just a great reminder.
yeah.
Like,
sure.
I come to her with the same problems throughout the season.
Yeah.
And I know she's tired of hearing it because it's like the same stuff. She's probably like, when is this girl going to change? But she's just so, like, she doesn't even think, like, she's just so, like, this is it. Like, she's just so, like, gives it to you, is confident in you, and, like,
Yeah.
just hypes you up so much. And it's just, like, the perfect person to go to, because, like, it's confidential, it's really cool. Like, it's just a reminder. She's kind of, like, it's like grounding yourself. It's just, like,
Yeah.
a reminder. It's just, like,
It's
calm
just, like,
down.
Allie Girls in your head.
Right, it's just, like, Allie
Danielle,
G.
shut the hell up right now.
Danielle,
like,
you're
fine.
being delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I had actually not seen a college team with a sports psychologist until I came here and I heard about your guys. Is it something that, like you said, you guys really enjoy, but would you recommend to every school, not only in the PSAC, but every competitive basketball school or really sports school around the country? Is that something you'd recommend for them to have?
Absolutely.
Oh,
100%.
Especially with the world's mental health problems. Everyone is, no matter what situation you're in, if you're poor, if you're rich, whatever, all of that, everyone has mental health problems. Everyone's going through stuff. I think it's just like those people want to help, and it's also a job. That's how they contribute to society. I think if you have the opportunity to have on your team, why not? It can only help.
Yeah.
It can only help.
Yeah, and it's not mandatory for our team to use.
Right.
Like, if you don't want to talk to her, you don't have to talk to her. But she's always there. But especially, like, you see, like, in the news, like, you'll see these athletes dying and committing suicide, and honestly, mental health in sports is so overlooked that I'm so happy that our team is really focused on that. Our coaches put an emphasis on that, and they're there for us, with whatever aspect we need, like in the mental health, if it's physical, mental, whatever we need. So the fact that we have Allie is just, like, it's helped me out so much, especially with my redshirt year. She helped me through that a lot, and she helped me kind of change my mindset going into this year. So I think that more schools should.
Oh, for sure.
That should be, like, a thing.
For sure. I think, like you said, athletes, suicide, all of that. And the thing is, nobody knows they're struggling. One girl, she went to Stanford, I think. She's star goalkeeper at Stanford, one of the best schools to get into. Has good grades, all this, smiley, happy, and nobody knows. And I think, like, it's cool because our teammates don't really have to know, but Allie's there, and she knows a lot about each one of us and our problems. And sometimes you don't want to talk to your friends or your teammates about it. Sometimes, you need to get away from your teammates for a little bit. So it's just awesome because it's just this person that, like, really, like, and she doesn't, like, you don't owe her anything either. Like, she's just there, you know what I mean? It's just great.
And it's like, the perspective is, she has an outside perspective on her team.
Mm-hmm.
She's on our coaching staff, but she also has an outside perspective where it's like, you can tell her anything. You can shit talk basketball. You can be like, I hate this sport right now, and it's not gonna take anything away from your playing time, from anything like that. So
and there's no judging. It's like
it's such a good outlet.
You could, like, go in there and say the worst thing, and she'd just be like, okay, cool.
She'd be like, yeah, I completely agree.
Says the worst thing. Yeah, I can totally see why you think that. It's so funny. It's just like you also got a friend there in it too.
Yeah,
she's like,
sure.
I get that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys can now hop off of the hot seat, and we'll get back talking about this season. But
Yeah, I'm sweating.
5 straight wins, a couple of them on the road. Now you guys are coming back home, 3-game homestand. You got Tiffin, Westchester, Millersville. What's the things to look forward to, and what do you guys have to work on most to be successful in this homestand?
I think that right now we just have to be focused in on our process and not be focused too much on who we're playing. I know a lot of us are focused on Westchester, with Jade transferring there and with that being the #1 team in the East in the PSAC. So I know a lot of us are thinking about that, but for us to really be successful these 3 games, we need to just focus on us and focus on our process and really, really put the work in at practice this week and next week.
I totally agree. I think that it's not even about who we're facing and more about how can we make each other better, how can we get better, and how we can progress as a team. Because you're going to have moments when things don't go your way, and you're going to have really tough opponents, but it's if we stay here. We got to stay there. We got to stay stable. We got to stay confident and trust each other. And I think that's just all within our control. It's not really within other teams' control.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we'll be focusing on.
Yeah.
As the head coach of the men's basketball team, Gary Manchell says, one game at a time.
Yes.
Right, you guys are looking
That's
to
great.
Tiffin, not through Tiffin.
Yeah.
And so, I congratulate you guys on a 5-2 start to the season. I thank you so much for coming on the pod, and I, of course, wish you best of luck not only in the coming homestand, but of course to the rest of the season. I look forward to working and doing some play-by-play for you guys. I think you guys are a special team this year, and I'm excited to watch it. So, thank you guys so much.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you,
us.
Tim. This
Yeah.
is great.
Thanks, Tomas.
Thanks.
Hey now, woo!